Erased is one of those animes that, even years after its release, somehow keeps coming up in conversation. And for good reason. Erased was incredibly fun to sit through, and after watching it for the second time, I thought it deserved its own video. Also, this is going to be a pretty deep dive, so if you haven't seen Erased, you might want to skip out on this one. A lot of spoilers lie ahead, so I'll still be here when you've finished it. One of the most welcome approaches to innovative media is to take something simple and mundane and unravel it. For example, time. We go through daily life not really recognizing it, kind of like breathing or sleeping. It's involuntary and not something you typically think about. But from shows like Steins Gate to ReZero, and especially Erased, time can be looked at as a tool, rather than a concept. Erased follows Satoru Fujinuma, a delivery boy working in Japan. Satoru possesses an ability aptly named Revival, which allows him to travel back in time a few seconds before a dangerous incident happens, enabling him to stop it. However, when Satoru's mother is murdered in his own home and Satoru is framed, he's sent back 18 years, not only allowing him to save his mother, but to stop a kidnapping plot that took the life of 3 of his childhood friends, and set up an innocent man. There's something specific I'd like to focus on here, and that's the way that Erased deals with the passage and rewinding of time. Episode 4. Satoru fails to save Kaio, one of the kidnap victims. After this, Satoru is sent back to the present day, and later on caught by police. While being taken away, Satoru begs with his own power, Revival, to be sent back for a second chance. Somehow, this works, and he triggers his own power through sheer will. At a much later point, episode 10, Satoru finds out who the kidnapper is, only to be trapped in a car teetering off into a lake. Satoru is put in a coma for the next 15 years, and wakes up in the year 2003 with his mother, friends, and the killer alive. This representation of time as a tool, rather than a concept, is foreign in most Western media, besides movies specifically confined to genres which deal with that. Erased has a brilliant and strange relationship with time, often exploiting it in the story, rather than just having it be a fact of life like most movies released today. Satoru's power, Revival, is also very interesting in that it's an unpredictable device. In another show with time travel elements, ReZero, his power is triggered when he dies. That's something the audience can rely on as a constant, no matter what happens, where it happens, or how it happens. Subaru's death will always result in a reset. In Erased, the audience has no such constant. In every loop, Satoru has to completely change his approach, lest he be sent back for no reason. And because there are only 12 episodes, each loop is just as impactful and disappointing as the last. Having failure be frequent and unimpactful can sometimes jar your audience, making them value the character's life and power less. But it could also be an asset, making the audience reflect on their lack of care or refocusing them on the characters rather than the world. After all, it's nice to have a change of scenery once in a while when watching these shows. I may seem really partial and biased in this show's favor, but it was one of the first anime that I actually sat down and watched all in one go, and I don't regret it. I remember staying up really late, kept awake by the illuminating Xbox logo, just watching it. It was really what got me into talking about media like this. Having each failure and reloop be incredibly impactful and hurtful turned what was a pretty good mystery anime into a really compelling representation of time, its passage, and its manipulation.